Yo, what's up, guys? This is your reminder. Be careful when you start to practice embodiment and sovereignty and basically anchoring a bunch of star codes into your body to change your DNA and to actually live the message and to actually live as the inner god or goddess that you are. Because when you do, it's gonna ground you, and part of that grounding is the awareness of the planet, which includes the collective of society. In other words, you're gonna kind of be forced to dive back into the matrix, whether you like it or not. And if you've been in self-isolation and you've been healing for a while, that's great, but it's gonna kind of force you to reintegrate what you have learned in your isolation back into society. Even if you're in your own house on a mountain and you start working out again, you start doing cold showers, cold plunges, sauna, hot tub, whatever, you start doing these things to actually get those codes into the body. Even if you're on a mountaintop, you're gonna just start to feel, you will literally start to feel what most people are plugged into. And if you're not careful, you can get sucked back into the matrix. Basically, you're gonna have to deal with a bunch of shadow work. You're gonna have to deal with even old versions of yourself surfacing to the surface that have been away for a while. For example, say in the past, I don't know, maybe 5-10 years ago, you would have been the person to think that this stuff is crazy, and you would have called the current version of yourself delusional or crazy. You're gonna have to deal with that old version of you coming back up, because it's kind of like, you know how they say who you hang around you become? It's kind of like when you start practicing this, you're gonna be forced to sit with that part of yourself that does want to sit with the normal average person in society, and with that comes all of the mindsets of the average person, which comes all the doubt, the scapegoating, the programming, the religious programming, the political programming, and just doubt. So be careful, because you're gonna have to basically stand tall in what you've learned and not go back. You know the scene in The Matrix where the guy is telling the agent to put him back in the Matrix? It's kind of like that. It's kind of freaky how quick you can get sucked back into the Matrix again and start to doubt yourself. You'll be like, maybe I was delusional, maybe I was crazy. Because when you start working out again, basically, for those of you that don't know, embodiment and sovereignty, just working out, cold showers, hot showers, while meditating on all of this higher knowledge, starseed stuff, basic spirituality stuff about how we're all connected to one and how there's infinite realities, and basically integrating that part of you that knows how to reality shift and manifest into the body. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, but it's all good. So yeah, just keep in mind, it's almost like you're revving up your engine again. Especially if you've been in hermit mode in isolation and you haven't been working out, you haven't been integrating this. Because I'm gonna be real, when I was healing and I had to go into hermit mode, I wasn't working out, I wasn't doing cold plunges, I wasn't doing all this stuff. And so it's kind of like my body's waking up again, right? It's kind of like jump starting a car, and with that is coming all these old things, and it can be really easy to get sucked back into it and kind of have a existential crisis. So be careful of that. Basically, this is just a message to know that when doing this stuff, you got to stand firm in what you've learned, and you got to remind yourself as much as possible. maybe start making content like I'm doing, talking about the infinite possibilities, talking about timeline shifting, talking about how we create our reality. Because those are the biggest three things. Like, if you can remind yourself that you create your reality and actively practice it while doing all these things to embody it, that's how you will actually start to become like a real ascended master, like Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all of these beings that could perform miracles, because then your aura will grow strong enough to actually override the fields. Like, your field will grow strong enough to override the other fields. So, but that can only happen if you work with the body and live it. Buddha was more so a little bit more still with that. Buddha didn't live it as much. Jesus and Krishna lived it a little more, because Buddha found his through stillness, which is why he's the still flame. Jesus and Krishna are two other flames.